Alright folks, so here's how a clutch basically works here. When you push on the pedal, it pushes on a master cylinder, which pushes on a slave cylinder, which essentially pushes this rod right here. Okay, and if you see the action of this rod inside the transmission, right here, the bell housing, what it does is it moves this thing, and then go ahead and slip on the, that's your throw-out bearing, and when you push that in, what that does is it pushes onto the clutch. I'm kind of shaking pretty good here, but you can see that this is how that works. Okay, so that bearing, go ahead and slide that out, Jim, and push. Let's find the clutch. Where's the clutch at? Clutch pressure plate. I'll show you on the new one. That essentially pushes onto those little fingers, you can call them?
Exactly. Yeah. It's a diaphragm.
And when that pushes on that, it pivots and essentially pushes the clutch brake, looks like a brake material, away from the flywheel. And essentially the flywheel, which is this right here, we had it sent to a machine shop to be resurfaced. Okay, because it was scored and had a lot of blue marks, which can tend to put some high and low spots on it, which would give you some kind of vibration when you're releasing the clutch or when you're engaging the clutch. And that flywheel then goes attached to the back of the engine, and this is the engine that's in the car right here. So then, again, it goes from clutch pedal to master cylinder to slave cylinder to this lever, which actuates that fork, okay, which pushes on the bearing, which pushes on the fingers of the clutch, which releases pressure to the flywheel, and then attaches to the engine. So that's how a clutch works. And what I can tell you is that on the old clutch on this car, if you drive when you're sitting in at a traffic light and you keep your foot on the clutch pedal, you're doing this, okay? That's putting additional stress and wear on the throw-out bearing, which is what pushes onto the clutch. Now there's a lot of forces involved. It's a pretty heavy springs involved, so that will cause wear on your throw-out bearing. So when you're driving the car, let go of the clutch, keep it in neutral when you're sitting at a traffic light. When you're ready to start moving again, then push the clutch to engage, to release the clutch from the flywheel. But don't hold it there. You will wear out your throw-out bearing, which is what happened in this case. This throw-out bearing only had about 20,000 miles on it, and it's about 3 years old. Alright folks, so what I wanted to demonstrate to you here is, this is also the new throw-out bearing, okay? This clamps onto that fork, which is like this, and that's what basically pushes up when it's inside the bell housing. This is the one that was in the car. Okay, now there's really only two ways that this can fail, and that's just a bearing failure. The little ball bearings, we're sitting in the bell housing, we throw them out, but this is just a little clip ring. This is made of plastic, as you can see. This ring right here is made of plastic, which is pretty common. What happens is, when you continuously push on the clutch, okay, this right here turns, it wears out these bearings and gets them hot, okay? And if you do it too long, so if you live in an area where there's a lot of traffic and you're just sitting and keeping your foot on the clutch when you're waiting at a traffic light, that will cause undue wear onto these bearings and get them hot. In this particular case, it got them so hot that it actually cooked the metal and the plastic, as you can see. So